Yeah, you got two choices, man. Take the blue or the red pill. Take the blue pill, stay your ass in the world and keep on eating microwave dinners. You want to take the red pill? You can come out and wine and dine with me. It's a mouth, man. Let's do it. I got a Kevlar mind with Teflon rhymes, antidote to venomous minds that decline the truth. Trapped in a box, stops locked, programmed to be spooked. I'm on some lynch mob shit, bucked up a program to shoot, and got some steel at the tip of my boots just to regulate. We can get it all night, I'm on, just name the date, and don't hesitate. Being a gangster ain't no good if your thoughts is featherweight. I don't care who got the best team, I'm here to drop the word and keep it moving like jet streams. The left to green, got my niggas moving like dope fiends. You gotta see the picture, but they ain't made for flat screens. Lemur Park and Skid Row was where he's last seen. Survivalist with holy water filled in his canteen. The boogeyman's here to put an end to American dreams. I'm out of sight of extraterrestrial beings. Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sun to take if you still plugging the matrix. Me, I took the red pill. Shook the snakes and the demons, keep them moving like a tracks on a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Heavyweight Solomon jewels, I use knowledge to rule. Rejecting wisdom as an act of a fool. Christ the King born to rule, let's take him to school. Open up the sword, baby, let it do what it do. Simple as that. Van Helsing the rap. I swing lefty when I'm holding the bat, righty when I'm holding the cat, man. On the highway to heaven, dipping out in the fast lane. I let my hair grow, OD'd on Rogaine. Spit the hot shit, taking shots of propane. SOJ created our own lane. Facing for a queen, got no time for a dumb dame. Nowadays to be heard, I gotta be rude and profane. Dumb down my knowledge, make me look like I'm some lame. It's a trip of niggas with chump change, be so vain. It's the principle of truth, IQAhmath his first name. Come on, everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sun to Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill. Shook the snakes and the demons, keep them moving like a tracks in a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Yeah. Okay, so understand what I'm putting out there. Red pillars only, okay? You want to take the blue pill, microwave, popcorn your ass to death, go ahead. You know, I ain't got time for that, man. I'm too focused for that. The soldiers that I roll with is too focused for that. So if you want to get down, get your mind right, come and holler at me, you know? Because when your whole shot comes back, it's a rap like a gypsy mummy. A lot of these heathens want to trip and act cool. I thug it out for the Lord, don't need no tattoos. We drop bombs with the Bible while you stand there baffled, looking like you see the ghost and with the Lord of hosts. Still keep a hood, crack a yak, and we can take a toast. Cheers.
Shalom, 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 peace, peace. Welcome, y'all. Welcome, y'all. It's another episode, DSTM, Don't Shoot the Messenger. That's right. You've reached the right place. You want the realness? You want the real information? You want the real breakdowns? All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, IQAhmath, man. Prayerfully, everybody's doing well in the Shabbat, man. Salute to the family that's in the house, that's in the chat, and those that's going to be joining in later. Whether you're watching it now live, watching it later, the notifications don't go out. You find yourself realizing, oh, he did do DSTM Saturday. Oh, yeah, I did. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Shabbat shalom to my brother Carlos, Jason, Uziel, Shalak, Quab, Kohav, Ashar, and the rest of the family that's joining us. Salute to all of y'all, man. Salute to all of y'all. You see the title, for real. Listen to it. Hey, F Diddy. Literally and figuratively. F Diddy. I know he's, distractionary news. I know it's hot topic. I know it's flooding the the media waves and all of that. But hey, all hell is breaking loose, man. The media knows how to use particular distractions, man, to keep everybody's minds off it. You know, the election is a month and a half away. Month and a half away. The economy is still in turmoil. You got UFOs invading and having sightings over in China where they had to cancel flights. They had to stop delaying flights. They were scared as hell. You still got all the multiple plagues that's out there. You got the World Health Organization authorizing the Mpox jabs to start poking up all of the people in the Congo. Lord knows what's in that. So we've got a lot of things going on, man. We've got free speech rights being stripped right before our faces. I mean, there's such a multiplicity of things that's going on right now, man. It's not even funny. But you know, we're right now. What's the biggest focus going on on Black Twitter and all the social media outlets is Diddy. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I am going to talk about it. Not too long, not too much, but he does come across the air, come across my desk of information. Right? I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Yes, I'm going to briefly talk about it, but of course, my perspective is going to be based upon biblical principle, right? Not so much about, oh, he was a Hollywood mogul, oh, the money. I mean, we really got to say, are we really surprised? Think about it. Are we really surprised? I mean, we've heard about the casting couches. We've heard about pay to play. We've heard about, manipulation, bullying, murders, drugs going on in that particular industry. We know that's an evil industry. So are we surprised when we hear about sex trafficking? Are we surprised when we hear about drugs? Are we surprised when we hear about guns? We're surprised that someone gets caught, especially of his stature. But the chickens come home to roost, man. The scriptures say you reap what you sow. That guy's got a lot of dirt under his nails. And it's just starting to show, man. Starting to show. But we've got enough to talk about today, man. So I'm going to give my disclaimer right now. I'm going to be moving kind of fast. So I got to get out to the highways and the byways today. So if you need to go back, rewind, and figure out what I said or what article that was, please do so. But bear with me. Because we got a lot to cover, man. A lot went on this week, man. Another assassination attempt on Agent Orange. Multiple bombings going on over in Lebanon. Pagers blowing up. So I mean, come on, man. Are we worried about what? Okay. Without further ado, let's get to the scriptures. All right. Let's start off with 1 Peter. We set the tone. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So there's going to be a time when our people are going to have to be steadfast. We're going to have to be aware, awoke. We're going to have to be consciously minded. Why? Because Satan is looking to take down anybody and everyone that he can. He's got agents galore working within this realm that we call the flesh, that we call earth, right? That's working tirelessly to take out the remnant, to destroy the children of Israel, to keep us in delusion and derision, to keep us divided. You understand? All of these things are taking place currently right now. So the Lord said, be sober and be vigilant. Not necessarily go to AA and clean up your act. No, it's meaning to be aware. Being sober-minded, being vigilant, being steadfast, being awoke, being on guard. Why? Because our adversary, the devil, he's walking about like a roaring lion, man. He's constantly hungry. He's constantly smelling blood in the spirit. While we're asleep, he's in our dreams. While we're taking breaks and lollygagging at Buffalo Wild Wings and doing whatever, he's constantly plotting to figure out how his next step is going to get you caught up, to make you fall out of the faith, to make us betray and commit acts of treason within our nation. And say, you know what, I don't believe that no more. Oh, the Bible's tampered with. Oh, I believe in Israelism, what they call it, Hebrew Israelism, and I believe in, Christianity. I mean, all kind of foolishness going on, man. Oh, I think that brother was cute. I liked his profile. He said shalom to me, and we laid together. And meanwhile, he don't really believe he's wicked, and I need to get out. All of that stuff goes on, man. Doctrinal disputes, the whole nine. How can he infiltrate? How can he separate, divide, cause derision within the nation? How can he get you to fall out of the faith? He's on a mission. While everybody should be looking at and being occupied, let me get that also. Hold on. That's in. Let me get this in Sirach 39:1 because this kind of lets us know where we should be at and where we should be what we should be absorbing right now during these times. We all can agree we're in the last days, or in the end of times, right? Sometimes that term gets kind of, misconstrued as it could happen, tomorrow, whatever. No, the sands of the hourglass is definitely ticking out. We can see it's almost coming to an end. Whether it's half full, whether it's a 3/4 full, a quarter full, the Lord only knows. Scriptures say, man, no man knows the day or the time. But what did he tell us to do? He said we got to look for the prophecies. We got to look for, in particular, the prophecies to understand how much closer we are. Because the scriptures even tell us in Romans 13:1, and now knowing the time, that it's high time to awake out of sleep. If we're not conscious, we're not sober, we're not vigilant, we won't know what time we're in right now. Where are we thinking about, the NFL season, NBA season's coming up. We sisters, not none of y'all sisters that's in here, but some of y'all worried about Taylor Swift concerts and who's endorsing Trump, who's endorsing Kamala, all these things really get us caught up, right? But what should we be doing? Sirach 39:1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, that's number one, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecy. So part of our faithful walk is to not only keep the laws of the Most High, but to be occupied or to be working through and trying to figure out or trying to understand the prophecies of the Most High. All right. Because if that's of our mind state, Satan knows that he's got to be an adversary to that, and he's going to walk about seeking whom he may devour. So what's his opportunity? Let me throw out distractionary things to keep the Lord's people away from understanding what times we're in right now. Let me get another one. 1 Peter 1. Verse 13, it says, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind. See, now it's more of a mental game. Now we've got to strengthen our minds. Now we've got to strengthen our spirits. Loins of our minds, be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Mashiach Yahushua. As obedient children, not fastening yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance, but as he which hath called us holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. Because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. What's holy? Being set apart, being cleansed, right? So it says that we got to gird up the loins of our minds, man. Be prepared, So let me get out my disclaimer too, because I know y'all say, well, you said you're going to talk about him too. You're only helping. Okay, I understand, but hold on. Like I said, we got to use the scriptures to back it up. 1 Corinthians 9, let's read 20 down to 22. And to the Jews I became a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. So we're seeing how Paul had to be all things to all people. Do I need to be, understanding what's going on in pop culture, what's going on in the hip hop world, what's going on in the sports world? I gotta look at all these things because our people are into all of these things. There's got to be a connection in conversation, understandings. You understand what I'm saying? So that you can identify where their mind is at, and you can bring them out of that mind frame and bring them to the mind frame of Christ. Continuing on. To them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to the Most High, but under the law to Hamashiach Yahushua, that I might gain them that are without law. So sometimes you've got to engage in things that you're not really concerned with. You don't, you wouldn't put yourself in them particular positions. So you got those that's not in the law. He said, I gotta have the same mind frame. I gotta go talk to somebody who's without the law, so that we can have a common ground of understanding. For instance, us being in LA, and it's not just subjected to LA. This is just this is just an understanding of how this could relate. It's just like when Christ said he went to the publicans and sinners. Being in LA, is highly influenced by gang culture. No different than Chicago, and because the gang culture is spread throughout many a city in America, let alone different areas in the world. If we're out on the streets, and a lot of times we are in areas where there's high gang activity, and the brother comes up, and he's from a particular hood, set, whatever, and if I've got a background that I can understand where he's coming from, I may have to dumb down my conversation in order to gain him, because he's not going to hear law, statute, commandment, everything else straight off the rip. He's got to understand, I can speak your language as well. I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I might be 20 plus years removed from that, but everything still remains the same. So that's how Paul had to operate. So in the same like manner, everybody's talking about Diddy. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to do a whole damn live about it. I'm not going to do a short. I'm going to acknowledge, yes, I know what's going on. But hey, while you're worried about this, let me show you about this. Meanwhile, let me also tell you why and how the Lord judges people that are found in sin. This is what he was doing. Let me show you in the law why Diddy was wrong. Yeah, and if you're doing that, you better straighten up your act and repent too. See how that works? You bring those things all together. Verse 22. To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. You might have to dumb it down a little bit. I am made all things, all men, that I might by all means save some. So it is just about trying to save souls, man. Somebody sees a thumbnail and they're like, oh, he's talking about Diddy. Yeah, I am, but not really. I'm talking about everything else going on in the world. Hopefully that locks somebody's attention. They say, dang, I didn't know all this was going on. You forget what Diddy's talking about. I got to worry about my soul. That's the objective. All right, let's get to it. So while our people are, caught up in that media hype brainstorm, look, the U.S. is moving soldiers to Alaska amid Russian military activity increase in the area. So last week we seen Putin drawing the red line regarding long-range missiles being used by Ukraine into Russia. He said if those get used to attack us, they're going to take that as a threat or an attack from the West, and he's going to declare World War III, and he's going to use whatever means necessary to defend and go on the offensive to European countries and to America. So now we're even hearing and seeing that there's military activity that's moving closer to Alaska, and the U.S. military had to take action. It's getting close, y'all. We don't know how close. My feeling and thought is Putin, Netanyahu, and Iran, and the rest of the nations who are tinkering with going all out, blitzing World War III, they're waiting on this election. Because whoever is leading the head of the snake is going to determine what means they're going to move forward with. So whether it's Come On Now Harris or Koala Bear Harris or Hyena Harris, you choose whichever name you want for her. Or if it's the chump, Agent Orange, if he comes in, each nation is going to take particular action. based upon that. That's my feeling. So in a month and a half, it's going to be decided. Moving into 2025, that's going to be decided. And there's something called the Daigle report. And I remember bringing this out some years ago, and it might be still up. But nonetheless, the Daigle report was a projection based upon. Let me see if I can still find it. I haven't looked at this in a long time. If anybody's heard of the Daigle report, man, put a 7 in the chat. Anybody's heard of the Daigle report? I believe it's the Daegel. Let me see. Hold on. The Daigle report 2025. This was a particular report that dealt with population reduction by 2025. You see here, Daigle depopulation prediction. Of course, some will say that this is let's see here. Let me see if we get a quick little synopsis. Let's read this real quick, man. Because the Daigle report is based upon military intelligence. They were talking about by 2025, there was going to be a significant population decrease. So some caution is needed here as we are dealing with Daigle, which is part of a U.S. military intelligence. Although not well known to the general public, Daigle received extensive internet coverage with its predictions of a coming apocalyptic catastrophe in 2025. Now, of course, you're going to have some that's going to say that's conspiracy. Oh, that's not real. Oh, that no. Daigle is a legit branch of the U.S. military intelligence. Now, of course, you're going to have detractors are going to say, "Oh, we can't. I don't know if that's real or not." All you got to do is just kind of see how things have been tracking since the report came out years ago. Now, let's see. It says that there will be an upcoming apocalyptic catastrophe in 2025 or by that date. I examined what is available at the time and concluded that the predictions were vague, the evidence not clearly articulated, but it could be true. Anything is possible, and this is a mighty strange world to know. So with that being understood, we'll just deal with what the scriptures say. Sirach 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. So doesn't matter whether if it's true, not does come to pass. All we know is that this is something on the table. Should we just be ignorant to it or should we not? The scriptures say don't be ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. Ignorance is not an excuse. I didn't know. I think Chris Rock does a joke about the classic go-to excuse that a nigga uses is I didn't know or I don't know. And that's like our defense mechanism. Hey, you got the time? I don't know. Like, get away from me. I forgot the joke. But if y'all remember or heard that Chris Rock do that, it's funny because it's real. But it's a defense mechanism to just say, I don't know. You know? And so cold is now you can ask somebody what's their ethnicity or their nationality, and they can say, I don't know. I'm black. I'm African American, Afro American. I'm Latino. I'm Hispanic. I'm all over the place is what you are. Not to get distracted. Let's continue. A recent article at the coveted Vax Critical UK site exposednews.com has concluded that Daigle may have been onto something. The issue goes to the staggering excess death rate across the West. Over 2 million excess dead since the, you know what, rollout. Did you hear that? 2 million gone since they rolled out them things, right? There has been an uprising of, this word right here. You can't say that word now, YouTube is sensitive. You can't say KILL. That's why people say unalived. You can't say MURD. You follow the rest. So if you hear me kind of pause and just highlight the word, roll with me. Okay. So there's a staggering excess of loss of life rate, 2 million gone since they introduced something new to the public. You know what I'm talking about? You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. There's been a surprising rise of deaths among children across the West with up to 120,000. Up to 40. Hold on. 100. Let me read this again because it didn't make sense to me. There has been a surprising rise of these things, people leaving us, among children across the West, with 120,000 up to week 40 of 2022, and it continues. Daigle predicted in 2020 that the United Kingdom would see its population decline by 77.1% by the year 2025, that the United States will see its population decline by 68.5% by 2025. Those are huge numbers. 77% of the population decline by next year, 68% in the US. That's pretty big. I mean, that has to be either war, plague, something that make bodies drop like that. Germany would see its population decline by 65% by 2025, and Australia would see the decline by 34%. It is argued that in the material below that if the excess death rate continues at an exponential rate, something like these figures could be reached. I'm skeptical, but I agree that there is certainly a mass die-off occurring. So I'm going to stop there, right? I'm going to stop there. So there's predictions that something could crack off that causes a mass extinction of people sometime next year. And if you're tracking all of the wars that's going on that we've been covering for years now, all of the health crises going on that we've been talking about for years now, all of the solutions for the health crises we've been covering, all lead to people leaving the land of the living, if you follow what I'm saying. So they could be onto something. So what are the nations waiting on? 2025 is when this election is going to kick, January 20th, I believe, is when the new head of the snake takes over the Hydra. A new harlot, mother of harlots, a new hoe, that new pimp, new madam is going to take over the beast system. And that's going to dictate how the nations move. So U.S. soldiers are moving to do, because of military activity across, or military activity increases from Russia up in Alaska. U.S. military has moved about 130 soldiers along with mobile rocket launchers to a desolate island in the Aleutian chain of Western Alaska amid a recent increase in Russian military planes and vessels approaching American territory. We've seen planes, we've seen submarines. They're constantly teasing and moving close all the way down to Cuba. From Alaska to Cuba, Russia's been teasing and tempting America, letting it be known, look how close we are. Keep playing. All right, let's move on. 1 million are now dead or injured in the Russia-Ukraine war, or unalived, I should say, in the injured in the Russian-Ukraine war. So let's look at that Daigle report. You got 1 million dead just from that war alone. The number of Ukrainians and Russians who were put to death, I got to figure out how to, I don't want to keep saying unalive. Like, that's played out, and I don't like saying what everybody else says. The number of Ukrainians and Russians taken from the land of the living, let's do it like that, or wounded in the grinding 2.5-year war has reached roughly 1 million, a staggering toll that two countries struggling with shrinking pre-war populations will pay far into the future. So if we get a idea of where that war is, million are either gone or facing life-changing wounds. And that thing is far from over. Far from over. All right. Let's move on. Everybody, I'm sure, has seen and heard about the whole let's call it what it is, man. That was a terrorist attack, man. Terrorist attack done by the IDF. And there's been no actions taken by the EU, America. Ain't nobody saying, hey, that was out of pocket. First thing I was saying, I said, they still using pagers over there? I'm saying pagers, what? Everybody stopped using pagers 20 plus years ago. But I guess it's another covert way to the military still uses pagers. I guess it's still another way to kind of use off-grid communications. Clearly not, because these things were set with backdoor triggers to explode. Now, the question can become now, this is how dangerous it can become, because this lets us know that any and all of the tech that we have, especially with lithium batteries or whatever the case may be, have a KILL switch in them. And governments can utilize them when they want. Can you imagine? You've got your crystal ball communication device at your ear, and you're talking to your son or your daughter. Bah! Can you imagine it being in your purse, in your pocket? Like these, Ishmael had it, pages on their hips and their pockets, man, blowing up, exploding. We're worried about the phones and everything else being hacked. I mean, these things it's all bad. The technology that we've been given to utilize and navigate in this beast system, man, has got backdoors in it, not only through the hacking means, but also apparently they could be set for detonation. I just be thinking of that. Imagine all of these Obama phones that they handed out to everybody. Jake sitting up on every damn corner and in front of 99-cent stores and Dollar Trees and in grocery stores trying to sign people up to get these free phones. And next thing you know, boom. They trigger them. They're already tracking every damn thing on them. They pop them, it's over with. God, you know what? I forgot about that in the quad. That did happen. I was thinking about that movie, The Kingsman, with the now it didn't the phones weren't blowing up, but the phones had a high frequency in there that made everybody, get into a crazed bloodlust. It made them all riotous and made everybody start, inciting basically civil war and murder. I got to get used to them not saying these words. Hopefully that don't affect the live. But anyway, Hezbollah. Hundreds of Hezbollah fighters are wounded when their pages explode, sparking panic across Beirut, with sources blaming Israel. Oh, of course. Who else are they going to blame? And they were saying that some of these people that got hit were innocent, kids included. But our GMO counterparts who are out there faking it to make it like they think they are, they get no pushback for the chaos that they do at all. So y'all heard it. The pages is exploding. We're talking real deep covert ops, spy games type stuff, man. Who would have thought that a page, all these pages, all of them going off at the same time, like this? It's like me and the choir would just say, it's something out of a movie. That all of these pagers, and not only the pagers, handheld radios, They hit the pagers first, then the handheld radios next. This is how you know it's so cold. And the earth being given into the hands of the wicked, the wishful Jews running every damn thing. These guys, Hezbollah, Ishmael, they're getting their means of communication from their enemy, not knowing that they're all charged up with detonation devices within them. They're thinking they're being slick. We got to get our handheld radio so we can communicate with each other. We can continue on with this war. Let's go get some more. Who was in charge of ordering those things? Who was in charge of collecting these particular radios, handing them out to Hezbollah or these pagers? That's the bigger question is like, well, who was in charge of getting these supplies? And where did they get them from? Clearly, they got them from the enemy. And the enemy was like, oh, yeah, we got them on sale 2 for 1. Come on. Give it to them and then boom. Line up the time and they destroy it, get destroyed. There's some cold stuff going on, man, but it does stand to reason in saying was, can they do that with your phones? Can they do that with any your iPad, your computers? Sure. It's been proven. So we see how desperate our enemies will get when things hit the fan. There's no bounds when it comes down to war, man. They're doing it all. Let's move on. After that, Israel carries out a targeted strike in Beirut after Hezbollah hits northern Israel with 140 rockets. I mean, you would think these 140 rockets, man, would do some damage, man. They're hitting outside targets. They're not really aiming, taking nothing down like they need to. Israel just, hitting them back again. They just killed some of their high generals. Man, I got to get that word out of my vocabulary, man. Israel hit Beirut suburb with an airstrike Friday, not long after Hezbollah pounded northern Israel with 140 rockets, following a vow by the militant group's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, to retaliate against Israel for a mass bombing attack. The Israel military and the militant group said. The Israel military said it had carried out a targeted strike in Beirut. It offered no further immediate details, but explosions could be heard coming from the city's southern suburbs. So Lebanon, Beirut, they're all getting hit. Hezbollah and Iran are plotting on and vowing they're going to retaliate. I'm starting to question, man, Iran's real willingness to get busy. Because every time they get hit and Hamas gets hit, it's bad. Women, children, innocents, they doing it. They're getting done dirty. President dies in a mysterious. President gets unalived or leaves the land of the living. Man, this is ridiculous, man. I got a friggin' sense of myself with this stupid. All right, Salaki, y'all. The Iranian president leaves the land of the living in a helicopter crash. Each time they say, we're going to get you. We're going to get you. We're going to vow in the name of Allah, we're going to get. It don't do jack squat, man. Lightweight little attacks here, there, nothing significant. I don't know if they being controlled, if they scared, they waiting on, they saying, well, if we do it, we got to get assurances, man. Russia, you got to get our back, man. China got to get our back. Once we open up this can of worms, man, all hell is going to break loose. And maybe Russia saying, look, we got our own problems over here right now. We're going to get your back. Just wait. Because when we set it off, it's lit all the way to the end. So hold on. Maybe that's what's going on. Snuffed out, that might work. That's easy enough to kind of move with. But Israel is going to the, as they say, balls to the wall in this war. And Hezbollah, Iran, Hamas. Now the Houthis got off a subsonic missile, I think a week or so ago. But nothing to the effect that we're seeing GMO juice side is doing. Look, Hezbollah in disarray after Israeli airstrike kills its top commander. So they're still, trying to reeling from the pagers attack, the handheld radio attacks, the missile attacks. They can't even pull together and get a damn retaliation going on. And they've got the army, they've got the weaponry, they got what they need, but for whatever reason, they're slow to engage. Hezbollah said Saturday that a second senior commander was among 16 fighters killed in an Israeli airstrike on its Beirut stronghold the previous day, highlighting the scale of the blow to its military leadership. Israel said Friday's strike on the southern suburbs of Lebanon's capital got snuffed out. The head of Hezbollah's elite Radwan force, Ibrahim Aqil, and several other commanders. So they're losing their headship, they're losing leadership, according to these reports. So we got to see where this is going. Because remember, Ezekiel 38 says that Russia's got to be a guard unto Iran or Persia. So they've got to come in and help them at some point in time. When that is, the Lord only knows. The Lord's playing chess right now. They said this is coming hot on the heels of sabotage attacks on communication devices this week that killed, snuffed out 37 people in Hezbollah strongholds. The strike raised new questions about the Iran-backed group security arrangements and dealt a heavy blow to its fighters' morale. Now, let's move on down to Central America. 3 U.S. citizens and 2 Spaniards are held over an alleged plot to destabilize Venezuela. For the last, 3 weeks or so, I've at least dealt with 1 to 2 stories regarding what's going on in Venezuela. For the 100th time, I'm making mention of the documentary about south of the border, coups, regime changes, what do you call it? Predatory lending being done by the International Monetary Fund to South and Central American countries. There's been high controversy regarding President Maduro down there in Venezuela, that he, quote unquote, stole the election. How ironic that America is standing on that. The pot calling the kettle black, but that's a whole nother story. They've had attacks on their power infrastructure. They seized his plane. They're trying to destabilize even more economically. They're trying to get him up out of there. And now Venezuela does their own internal investigations and hunting down who's behind all of these particular attacks. And lo and behold, 3 U.S. citizens and 2 Spaniards. And if you watch that documentary, if you have not already, I'm not getting paid for this. The south of the border, each one of those presidents they got destabilized, and they did a coup from Argentina to Ecuador. They throw in Spaniards. That's right. They get Edomite speaking Castilian Spanish to run these countries. Look at Mexico. They got a GMO small hat female, a Malachite, running that country right now. And that country's all out. It is in a world of trouble, as usual. Okay, UZL Thawada, you gave me more than enough. More than enough. See, the problem is when I'm reading, I'm not thinking about censoring the reading because it's not coming directly from my thoughts. If I'm consciously thinking before I speak, it's different. When I'm reading, I'm just reading. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to read that word. No. So that's where the censorship comes in. But the water, y'all, for the ideas and the words. I'm gonna incorporate. Yeah, co-have deleted. I like that. Flatlined. I like that. Yeah. All right. So let me try to do it. So bear with me, y'all. This is part of my discipline in trying to keep us from getting strikes and the channel getting attacked. So 3 American citizens, 2 Spaniards, and a Czech citizen have been detained in Venezuela on suspicion of plotting to destabilize the country through violent actions. The government said Saturday, adding that hundreds of weapons had been seized. Now, remember, they had heavy riots after that election. You know, Esau is known for causing chaos, especially when it comes down to countries that don't submit themselves to their democracy. So they got agent provocateurs down there stirring up strife, seducing and causing chaos and friction in these countries in an attempt to get rid of President Maduro. It's not going to be long before you're hearing about assassination attempts and all that. Oh, similar to what's going on here? Oh, okay. The Venezuelan government identified the men detained on Saturday in the online video. One of them was identified as an American Navy sailor detained in Venezuela earlier this month while visiting the country on a personal travel. Several U.S. officials confirmed to CBS News the enlisted sailor is a petty officer, first class, and formerly a Navy SEAL who was assigned to a West Coast team. Several U.S. officials and a senior Defense Department official told CBS News. So, you know, they use these mercenary groups, special ops guys, you know, going down there, working together with other parts of the 10 Crown B system, Spaniards, you know, Spain, US, working in cahoots. So as of right now, my suspicions and your suspicions. All right, y'all gave me more than enough. I can't even remember all of these, man. I'm just gonna move in the spirit. Whatever pops up, pops up. But the water, appreciate y'all. My suspicions is pretty clear now that this is an attempted coup, and the fact that they found 3 U.S. citizens and 2 Spaniards and a Czech citizen over there doing dirt, trying to incite violent actions and hundreds of weapons down there. That means they was getting ready to start a whole little civil war / coup down there to destabilize Venezuela even more. So we'll see. Let's move on. Mentioned Mexico, at least 30 killed as a faction of the Sinaloa cartel clash in northern Mexico, and I think he's the prime minister, one of them. They're saying they're blaming the U.S. for this. At least 30 were smoked. That's scripture. Yeah, at least 30 were smoked as factions of the Sinaloa cartel clash in northern Mexico. Let me see that article real quick, if I can remember. See that? Mexico president blames U.S. for cartel smitings as violence surges. So here they are back again. Involved in bloodshed and violence. You know, we talk about wars, rumors of wars, and all that, man. Do we forget about the drug wars that's going on? At one point, I remember it was like 2016. I believe they said that there was 60,000 people have been smoked in Mexico due to the drug wars and cartel violence. Let alone Obama responsible for Operation Fast and Furious and sending guns down there, and they were saying, "Oh, we're putting trackers on them so that we can trace who's using them." Didn't no arrest come from that, but they just supplied weapons to them, right? So I just put the headline. But look, Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador blamed the U.S. in part on Thursday for the surge in cartel violence terrorizing the northern state of Sinaloa, which has left at least 30 people gone in the past week. So, more blood on the hands of America and Uncle Sam. So they're funneling violence and smitings, Mexico, Venezuela. Uh, they've taken part in the million that we just read about it with Ukraine and Russia. They've definitely had a hand in and saying, giving the okay and the green light to what's going on with Israel, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis. You know, the blood on the hands of America is endless. Let's move on. Look at another. Here we go. The chump is safe after a suspect in apparent assassination attempt is arrested. Officials say he had an AR-style rifle, scope, and a GoPro. I mean, now if this isn't, and you don't hear, and this is how you know. And I hate to even sound like I'm defending this dude because he's a damn devil and a demon and wicked as hell. But it's just so obvious and ridiculous. Every time that there's a quote unquote mass shooting, politicians are quick to jump to the table and say, "We've got to curb gun laws. We got to stop this. This is ridiculous." Da, 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 da. But when they try to take this dude out, you don't hear no words of it. Matter of fact, Kamala was just sitting down with Oprah, and she said, "Me and No Balls Walls, we're gun owners. And I say, if you come in my house, you're going to get shot or you're going to die or something." Like, and Oprah was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And she was like, "Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that." My PR team would clean it up. I mean, what kind of foolishness is going on here? You said now they're saying it's an AR type rifle, and he had an old school World War II SKS. I mean, you know, the foolishness is don't stop, man. And of course, they want to get to the ARs, man. They want to talk about semi-autos. Now, semi-autos ain't gonna stop at ARs. It's gonna go down to everything else, semi-auto, down to pistols. They're gonna want you to have an airsoft pellet gun or a damn revolver, and that might be it, or a gauge, I guess, you know. But nonetheless, everybody knows another attempt on him. There's no hoopla, no nothing. I mean, I seen a damn, I can't remember where I saw it, but there was like a compilation that somebody had did. I don't know if it was through somebody's Instagram or TikTok or something, but it was a number of different politicians and actors and actresses, and all of them during, I think it was during between his 2016 to 2020 campaign when he was president, and then even after that, they was talking about how they got to take him out. The only way we can get rid of him is to put him to death. And they working hard, man. But they get, you know, they getting you know, some low level cats, man. Some you know, and it's no question. After you share the chick that was she was the head of the Secret Service. She resigned right after. You know, anytime they resign and they go head for the hills, man, you know they done messed up the job. But they get the kid that did it. They got him with communications and cell phones pinging to buildings right next door to the FBI. They look at his phone records. Some of the stuff he was talking with led to some FBI. I mean, it's some wild stuff going on, man. He said they're saying now that his phones have been pinged to two from exactly. Yes. And they saying that both of these cats, him and the other dude, the other young cat, both were in BlackRock commercials. I showed y'all the one the kid being in the BlackRock commercial, and BlackRock is one of the elites hedge funds that run, funding particular campaigns, blue side, and real estate and all kind of commercial control. Larry Fink running that operation. How ironic is it that both of them was in commercials that was done by some corporation that funds and has a particular agenda that they want to put forward? Truth is stranger than fiction, y'all. So they try to get him again. Look at this. This is a third attempt. And who knows what this was? The Trump supporters suffer unbearable mystery injuries after sitting behind the ex-president at a rally. This was in Arizona. Now, some of these are 10 tribes. Northern Kingdom over here, man, sitting up here cheering on their next Caesar or what they pray to be their next pharaoh. They got hit with some sort of chemical attack, toxic gas, something. Jacked their eyes up. Some of them had headaches. Many of them had to go to the hospital. So they're saying that there was a chemical attack that they let loose in there and it hit them people first. May or may not have touched him. So they trying every little thing, man. And they trying to do it subtly. So that just looks like, oh, some old crazy. And what's so crazy is, and this is how you know that they prey on the ignorance of our people or people in general. They always say, oh, the Republicans, the MAGA guys, those are the extremists. They're the ones running around with the guns, the ARs, the flags. They're ready to start a civil war. But meanwhile, the Democrat people are the ones who's actually shooting and setting up plots. And this is crazy. And I'm just sitting back watching it like it's a movie. And I'm saying, I pray our people really get it. Like, the only thing that our people is getting is, oh, I'm leaving the Democrat plantation so I can go become a Republican. A Republican. You're a transformer now. They say that was an old school term in the gang world. You was from one place and then you went to another place. We used to call that transformers. You used to be like, man, wasn't you from such? No, I'm banging this and that. What? You transformer. Like, and you was gonna get disciplined. You was gonna definitely get handled if you did that. But in politics, with the Democrats and the Republicans, you can flip-flop as much as you want. And I see that going on. A lot of our people they leaving one and they going to the red side now. There is no side you should be settling for at all. Let me get that in 2 King. First King. There's no which side. You're like, what? 1 Kings 18:21. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions? If Yahweh be the power, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. See, that's why people looking like deers in the headlights saying, huh? But we got to choose. I can't do. No, you can't do both. You shouldn't be. Our people shouldn't be involved, and y'all know this. I'm speaking to the choir. However, there's always people. I'm telling you, people be watching. They pop in, they listen for a little bit, they leave, they come back. Our people are still on the fence. They still trying to learn. So James 1:8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Oh, should I be independent? Should I be a Republican? Should I be? You shouldn't be involved in any of the above. How about that? And I've seen our people talking about them. Oh, I voted for Obama and I voted for Biden. Now I'm not you know, I'm going to the red team now. Yeah, no. Let me get this in Revelation 3:15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of thy mouth. So we always have been told, even Yahweh said, let thy yea be yea or thy nay be nay. You can't be in the middle. You can't be trying to play with your faith. You can't be, I believe with Israel. Yeah, I know, but I'm working on these laws. Or I'm working on. I just can't get over, believing that the white man is our enemy and the nation. Everything else I believe. You can't do that. You got to be in it all the way or get the hell on, especially now. The sifting process within Israel is already happening. Our people is getting sifted all day long, man. The Most High said, I got 2/3 of got to get left in the sift. You can't be dodging and dipping in this week. Last 4 years, I voted this way. No, your decision should be, I'm not doing either. There is no savior that's coming through a red or a blue side. Facts, 10 toes down. That's right. You can't be, in the mix. They're showing you all the stuff is playing out on live and in front of you. But see stuff like this when you see, they're trying to kill him. They must be wicked. Yeah, they are, and so is he. They're doing it. Let them, kill each other and straighten each other out, or kill each other. Let them destroy each other politically, physically, whatever the case may be, man. Our faith should be in our true King, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. All right. But we see here playing out, man. Third time they try to get him. Maybe third time's a charm, maybe not. Don't be surprised to hear about him being hospitalized right before, the election because he's got a strange illness going on, and maybe it could be food poisoning. Maybe that's next. Who knows? But the movie continues. I got to get her.
Our students' mental health
I got to
matters.
get her.
I teach English and sports in Los Angeles.
Harris, at it again.
Now, before we wrangle, let's get into some light relief from the US. Kamala Harris spoke with the National Association.
And why do we get on her? Because many of our people don't need much convincing that Agent Orange isn't for our people and shouldn't be dealing with him. So they're only left with, well, I'm voting for her because she's a black woman. Okay, well, that's been dispelled. Well, I'm voting for her because all my family is Democrats. Okay, guess what? The Democrats were the ones who funded the KKK. They're the ones who was against you from the start. They're the ones who give you promises and never deliver. They're the ones who, want you helplessly stuck on government assistance. They're the ones who made it mandatory for you to roll up your sleeve or lose your job. They're the ones who caused all these businesses to close. They're the ones who got inflation. You need any other examples to tell you that ain't the side you need to be going to either? Oh, that's not enough? Okay. Here's your beloved Jezebel playing games with a forked tongue slithering, repeating like a broken record, the same old stories.
Of black journalists overnight. And among other things, she trotted out her folksy background story again. I mean, the Americans love Abraham Lincoln's log cabin backstory. And in Australia, we keep hearing about Prime Minister Anthony Albanese growing up with his single mother in public housing. But Kamala Harris can't match any of that. She can't even refer to a working class background. Now, she reckons middle class is tough enough.
I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother was hardworking. She raised me and my sister Maya. She saved up, and it was only by the time I was a teenager that she could afford to actually buy her first home.
Sound familiar? We've heard this stuff almost word for word previously, and no matter what the question is, have a listen.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life...
Now, this is important. This dude, for once, but he lets her slide, asked her specifics. What is her plans for the economy? Specifics. What's her policy going to be?
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother...
we must... What was that? What's she say? We must such and such be unburdened by what have been. I know Donald Trump's type. These scripted lines that that's all she can remember. And poor Kamala, man, she got the turkey neck going on, man. Look at it. But if you look at her, I don't mean to talk about the woman. Everybody's gonna get old. We all age. But if you look at her, her Twitter page, she got a picture from like 2016 on it. Still trying to look like she's young. She not that old. I was about to get real disrespectful. She's not that old. She made that old thing that was seducing Willie Brown and Montel Williams and the rest of them that she used to be. But that's a whole nother thing.
Raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was...
Now, mind you, this is not the same clip that we just showed earlier. She had a brown suit on, and she was outside. All right, Shalakia, I'm just going to let it play.
Specific things you have in mind for that.
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager.
Yeah, the middle-class kid thing even got a run a couple of times in the debate.
I know you say that your values have not changed. So then why have so many of your policy positions changed?
I grew up a middle-class kid raised by a hardworking mother.
I mean, good Lord. If our people do not see that this is clear puppeteering going on, that she's being fed scripted lines, I mean, I don't know what, there's no sincerity in it. People, especially our own people, man, Charlemagne the God and all these other damn goofy Steve Hartley and all of that, they're out here defending this woman. When you bring up the subject matter about her saying that she's black, she is black. That's ridiculous. Why are people talking about that? Listen, what matters is the truth. If somebody's lying about who they are, isn't that called fraud? Isn't that violating by law? Like you're impersonating somebody else? Why do you think we get so upset about the GMO small hats taking our identity? It's about lying and it's about telling the truth. She's lying about who she is. So what else could she be lying about? That's the point. Our shallow ass Negroes out there, man, paid off media shills and celebrities so quick to flap their big black lips and try to defend her. on the strength of black women. And she ain't, come on, man. It's about her telling the truth. And if she's lying about one thing, what else is she going to lie about? She lied about saying, I was very clear about fracking. I was against it. Meanwhile, she went back and they pop up and you play the damn clip when she was running in 2020. She says, I'm definitely against fracking. If I'm in 100 days, if they don't stop, or no. Yeah, fracking, she says she's definitely against it. Then she also was talking about gun rights, and she said she's going to give Congress 100 days to institute universal background checks and all this other stuff. And she said if she doesn't, I'm taking executive action. Then she doubled back and says, I'm not coming for your guns. She's playing politics. So she lies all the damn time, just like her white zaddy and her predecessor and her boss, Slow Biden. They lie. Just like the chump, he lies. They're eating the dogs and whatever else he's talking about. He want to talk about people coming over here from ish whole countries and all of that. But meanwhile, he was hiring them to build up Trump Towers and all these other damn buildings that he got. He ain't had no problem using that cheap labor. You understand what I'm saying? Talking about how he's helping the economy. He's helping his buddies in these big corporations and their monies with tax cuts and everything else. So, I mean, let's not play those games. But here she goes. Same old story.
Who worked and saved and was able to buy our first home when I was a teenager.
We heard that one. Okay. Her saying she's doing a good job as the borders are, and she's going to visit it one day. And then when they double back and said she did a terrible job at the borders are, they said she wasn't a border czar. Do y'all remember that? They said she was not in charge of the border. But the internet is undefeated. All this stuff, you can go back and you just go look it up and you can see whether or not she's telling the truth, whether or not he's telling the truth.
When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid.
Good Lord. Y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. Let me move on. Woo. All right. Now, regarding that debate. Oh, bombshell claims of an ABC whistleblower who says Harris got help in the debate. You know, she wanted to run it back. She wanted to run it back against the chump after that debate. Now, there's two things. Either she felt like I won, and if I do it one more time, I'm going to bury him. Or she felt like I didn't do as good, or I lost and I got to run it back. Typically, you don't want to say, let's do it again. If you won, right? But this is an ABC whistleblower. This cat wrote out everything that they did in the debate 2 days before, I believe it was. He mailed it to himself, a sealed envelope. He mailed it to somebody else. New York Post. He mailed the information to somebody else, sealed documents, everything else. He did an affidavit basically saying if I'm lying, I could be punished under the court system. And sure enough, everything that they had, she had pre-knowledge of the questions, stuff that couldn't be said, the podium. I mean, all kind of things. And basically, her handler said, if we don't have all of these particular things, there's not going to be a debate. ABC News collapsed and said, fine, we'll do everything that you want. And this is why the chump says, nah, I ain't doing another debate because I know what you're up to. Even though he looked bad on there and wasn't saying nothing anyway, but look at this. Several bombshell claims were made last week in an alleged sworn statement purportedly penned by a staffer at ABC News. The unverified document alleged close collaboration between the network and Kamala Harris team ahead of the debate on September 10th and was first published on Sunday by an X account with the name Black Insurrectionists. Most notably, it alleged the station gave Harris questions ahead of the presidential showdown while agreeing to a series of other preconditions. So that's why it looked like she was so sharp, because she already had and knew what the questions was going to be. And if you remember, if you seen when she walked off, she had a notepad. He didn't have one. I mean, there's a lot of strange things going on with that whole thing. But if anybody's questioning or wondering, could there have been some dirt that went on, or some favoritism going on? Well, there you have it. And this is all done on the affidavit, legal documentation, and the cat certified mailed himself and some other people to back himself up a couple of days before the actual debate. And everything that he wrote up in there, you could pinpoint and see on the debate that actually happened. So sounds credible to me, but who knows? I mean, but IQAhmath Harris definitely is going to need some help. She can't publicly speak like that without some help. Y'all know it. And you see, she's got go-to keyword answers all the time. We must be unburdened by what has been. And, I grew up a middle-class kid, and I know Donald Trump. She got, go-to lines. Let's move on. Oh, this is under her watch too? Oh, exclusive. Dozens of border agents investigated for smuggling, sexual assault, and bribery. Hundreds of U.S. border officers are under investigation for alleged misconduct, including trafficking, bribery, and sexual assault. Newsweek can reveal. Official figures seen by Newsweek show that 211 officers of Customs and Border Protection face accusations ranging from serious crimes such as drug smuggling to non-criminal misconduct. So, who's running the border? Who's letting these things go down? What's happening down there? Mayorkas and the rest of them? They're saying, "Oh, it's under control." What are you talking about? We got it locked down over here. Sexual assault. They got the kids coming through undocumented. They getting sent to God knows where. Pedophile rings, sexual assault cases jumping off. Women getting raped down there, and they drug dealing. They doing it all. The document shows 17 alleged cases of domestic violence, 11 cases of sexual assault, 10 cases of smuggling migrants across the border. Another 11 agents are being investigated for physical abuse of a detainee. 13 stand accused of association with criminal gangs. I mean, this is out of control. And IQAhmath Harris says everything's fine. I'm doing great as the borders are. I guess so. If there's a plan to cause chaos to enact a Hegelian dialectic, yeah, I guess it is cool. Look at this coon, man. Mark Robinson, coon galore. He says that he's a black Nazi. North Carolina GOP nominee for governor made dozens of disturbing comments on a ORN forum. This guy, and you notice he's dressed like his white zaddy with the blue jacket, the red tie, white shirt. Yeah, he loves the chump. Mark Robinson, North Carolina governor. This dude is a coon for real. Now look at this. Mark Robinson, a controversial and socially conservative Republican nominee for governor of North Carolina, made a series of inflammatory comments on a pornography website's message board more than a decade ago, in which he referred to himself as a black German oppressor, let's put it that way, and expressed support for reinstating slavery. This is not a typo. Despite a recent history of anti-transgender rhetoric, Robinson said he enjoyed watching Transformer porn. A review of archived messages found in which he also referred to himself as a perv. See, this is the type of stuff that's going on. These are the type of coons they let in. These are the ones that they want to be black representations of government. And look, y'all can't say it's discriminatory. Well, look, we let y'all in. He's almost governor. He's backing the Agent Orange chump. First Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go make a covenant with the heathen. Oh, we should have slavery back. Oh, yeah, I'm anti-transformer, but meanwhile, I love the Decepticon porn. What? I mean, it's unreal, man. Fat nigga out there, man, dressed like Trump. He oozes his name out his mouth, man. He loves him so much. And now they're talking about he because of his allegiance and his love for the chump, this might hurt, Trump's electoral hopes in North Carolina because of his allegiances with this dude. But he ain't doing nothing but trying to be like him and trying to be like the heathen. Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain other people were so forward herein that they went to the king and gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. He's looking for a license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. He wants to be in government. Meanwhile, he's out here, a self-proclaimed perv, a black German oppressor. And he loves watching the Transformers get busy. You can't make this stuff up, man. Mark Robinson should be ashamed of himself, man. This dude is disgusting. Disgusting, man. But these are the damn coons and the niggas that they let up there to represent so-called black folks. So you can't say, oh, America's racist. We don't have no power. Like, yeah, we got you power. Look at Mark Robinson. He up there. He represents y'all, don't he? If you notice, all of the cities, man, with high crime rates, man, mass shootings, and this, that, and the third, they always got black police chiefs. Milwaukee, Chicago, everywhere. Look, Eric Adams used to be the damn chief of police over there in New York, and now he's the damn governor. He's over there just letting New York deteriorate. So the white folks can say it ain't our fault. Look, you niggas is running this. We put you in power. We gave you a shot. Look what you're doing. And that's what it is. All right, here we go. I'll give him a little oxygen. Sean Diddy Combs arrested by federal agents in New York. Everybody knows this, all right? We all know he got locked up. He's been denied bail twice. Now he's on suicide watch. They're calling him the Black Epstein. But let's examine a couple things, man. This is what happens, man, when you get in too deep, man. You're rubbing elbows with the wicked. You want to be accepted. You want vainglory. You want to be in the mix. You want the fame, wealth, the glory, right? People are saying, oh, this is because, and I thought about that as well. Oh, this is because he got, he tried to stand up to the man when it came down to his liquor business that he had with them. I'm sure there was some more stuff that went down that made him deal with this, right? But it says here, for the love of money, this is 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not the money. The money itself can do nothing, man. The scriptures tell you money answereth all things. It's not money. It's not the fact that one has money. It's when one loves and lusts after it. Then you open up all corridors of evil. That's when it gets bad. That's when you start hearing about these particular stories. And you start hearing about all of these particular people with success and fame and wealth and committing suicide and having high drug addictions and all, because they're trying to drown out all of the things that they had to do to get to that money. He's one of the damn vampires, man, that I used to talk about back in the day, back in the early 2000s and so forth. Him and others, but in particular him, I noticed he would always wear shades in the dark. And they try to make it look like it was some old-fashioned statement. Oh, I'm cool. This is part of my outfit. Why are you wearing shades in a dark club? Why are you wearing shades at night? You know that old saying they say, man, the eyes are the windows to the soul, man. That's the cover to shame. That's the cover. Having to look people in the eyes because of all of the evil that you had to do, that you committed. to get where you're at. Shades covers it all, right? And I think there's a scripture in Sirach that talks about the winking of the eyes, or the eyes shows the evil. Let me see if that might be something in there. I think that's it. Let me see real quick if I don't find it. Yeah, this is one of them. But I think there's another one. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But Sirach 27:22, it says, "He that winketh with the eyes worketh evil, and he that knoweth him will depart from him." So the eyes always shows where evil is going to be happening. And this cat used to always walk around with his shade. Yeah, there you go. Stunner shades on. You're going to have to tell me, Naquan, what's that about, man? Because I never understood that. People wearing shades at night. It's like, I thought the shades were supposed to, protect your eyes and block from the light, let alone stylish and all of that. We know Israel likes a style, man. We're trendsetters. I ain't got no problem with that. But you're in a darkly lit club, or you're out at some particular event, or you're sitting at a dinner table with guests and you got shades on. Like, what are you hiding? What are you trying to cover up? It can't just all be fashion, especially when you're dealing with these type of cats, man. That dude was covering and hiding evil. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Many sorrows. So he's got a lot of trauma that's going on within him, man. I mean, you got when he had that whole incident at the club with Shine took the fall for him. He do 10 years for a shooting. Diddy gets away. Craig Mack dies. Rob, what's the cat's name? Black Rob, he dies. These are all people that's under his label that are either gone now or face legal issues or worse. Biggie, gone. Craig Mack, gone. Black Rob, gone. G Dep was a rapper on his label. He just ended up turning himself in for a murder that he committed. I think he did 13, 14 years. He finally got out. And I don't want to misquote it. I'm not gonna say he's Israelite now, but I know G Dep is back. I know 112. They had some stories going on with them. I mean, there's always something. His bodyguard got put to death. There's a whole lot of things that he's witnessed and seen and gone through after the fact. There's been a lot of turmoil, and ironically, his label name was Bad Boy. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Take that. Matthew 16:26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Well, it's been heard and understood that he's given up a whole lot, including his cheeks. Including them cheeks. Him being mentored by his white zaddy Clive Davis, a known sodomite. Andre Harrell, all them. Listen, this dude done compromised himself for fame, wealth, glory. He had a whole incident on his come up throwing a party at Howard University that led to deaths. They had the place was overcrowded. Something went down and a stampede occurred, man, and a few people died. That was on his watch as well. His ex-wife dies, Kim Porter. I mean, you talk about a lot of things, man, that this dude has witnessing or been involved in. When you worry about you're wondering about if you know you reaping what you sow, the chickens coming home to roost, let alone what's going on at these quote unquote freak offs. And shame on these Negroes out there, man, defending this foolishness, including Umar Johnson and Faison and all these other guys. Nothing ain't against the law to be a freak. That ain't what he got arrested for. And yes, it's against the law to be a freak if you're dealing with the laws of the Most High. Ain't nothing wrong with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. He didn't get arrested for the damn baby oil. The fool had disassembled and he had AR-15s in that defaced serial number scratched off. That's against the law. Let alone he's out here importing and exporting sodomites and porn stars and everything else. The sex trafficking, that's what he got caught for, man. He's importing and bringing in sex workers across state lines. That's against the law. Then you got illegal weapons in there. Drugs galore. I mean, what are we talking about? Why are people sitting up here trying to defend them? I mean, too damn pro-black for their own good, man. I can't stand unbiased and just say, yeah, the nigga's wicked. And he's led to a lot of other people following down the pathways of wickedness. He's got a lot of blood on his hands, man. And let alone, hold on. What's that in the law? Exodus 23. Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause of decline after many rest of judgment. So if you have an understanding and an individual is wrong, you shouldn't be declining to speak. I ain't gonna say nothing. That ain't my business. What? It's plain, man. The dude was wicked. I mean, you gotta imagine a dude was on a power trip. I remember back in the day when he had the Making the Band series, and he made all them Jakes, man, walk to go get him a cheesecake. And I don't even know if he ate it. If y'all remember that show on MTV, Making the Band, he had tryouts for people who wanted to be a part of his record label. He was creating a band with multiple people from all over the country, promising them a record deal. And one of the first things he made them do was walk from one city to a whole nother city to get him a cheesecake. That's when you just playing with power, man. That's just when you out here playing with people's lives, willing to see how far are they willing to go to get what they want. So that was a measuring barometer to say, if they're willing to do that, what else are they willing to do? How far are they willing to go? Where would they go to sell their soul, man? What gaineth the man what profit a man if he gain the whole world but lose his soul? That's when they start tinkering and playing with are you willing to you really want that acting part? Oh, you really want, are you down on your luck? You need help? Okay, guess what? With a snap of a button, man, I can get you this endorsement. Snap of a finger, man, I can go ahead and get you that capital that you need to start your restaurant up. Oh, the snap of a finger, man, I can make you a model. Remember, he had Sean John, the clothing lines. Whatever you wanted, he had it at his disposal, man. You need the connections in the music industry. Oh, you need an introduction to get this acting gig. I know such and such. Come to one of my parties and we'll talk about it. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, man. Just because he's got all of this fame, wealth, glory, and everybody wanted to be a part of his label at one point, and everybody, the Lord said, man, you don't go do that, man. Oh, everybody's talking about the Diddy parties and the freak offs, and you got some cats, man. I've been looking at some of these little videos, man, of these old rappers and stuff talking about whether or not they went to one of his freak off parties. Yeah, I didn't go. Yeah, I knew what was going on. Niggas know what time it is, man, and then they shut up and don't say nothing. Oh, yeah, we all knew this was going on. You all knew, but didn't nobody ever stop to say anything? I mean, what? Everybody knows what's going on, but they don't know what. Nobody wants to say nothing. Hold on. Another lesson to be learned. Psalm 94. This is why the Israelites, this is why we stand on what we stand on, man. Because a declaration and a question is being made. Psalm 94:16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? I mean, who's going to stand up for the truth? Who's going to actually call out evil when they see it? When you're in that industry, man, you don't want to ruin your reputation, your connections. You don't want to ruin your opportunities. You see stuff that's going on that's wicked as hell, and you like, you know what? I ain't saying nothing because I ain't trying to ruin my part in this. I ain't trying to lose my record deal. I ain't trying to do. So everybody, shh. Even up until now, they talking about all of his little celebrity friends, and nobody saying nothing. The only ones that I will say that's always been on it is what's his name? 50 Cent. 50 Cent been on his head and on this. I was about to say something. But that wouldn't have been good. But he's been on his head for who knows how long. He's the only one who's been calling him out for all of his stuff. But the Lord said, man, who's going to rise up for me against the evildoers? There's a lot of people knew and figured and seen stuff and didn't say nothing and witnessed things. I mean, you got Cass making money. One of his old bodyguards, he out there making all these damn media tours and speaking on stuff. It's like, damn, man, you seen all this shit and you didn't say nothing? You wait till years later when you're fired and you ain't got nothing going on. Now you say something? I mean, come on, man. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? That's what happens, man. A lot of times, man, our people don't want to get put in positions of compromise, and they like, you know what? I'd rather just be quiet. I ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah, we know. I heard that was going down. Yeah, I knew we heard about that going on, but you know, I know there was one interview. If anybody remembers a rapper Exhibit, he was talking about he went to one of them parties, man. He said he actually went in one of the doors and he seen some stuff going on. He was like, oh, I gotta go. And you know, they made a little joke about it on the interview, but you know, Cash be seeing all the stuff. But what ends up happening is, hey, nothing wrong with being a freak, nothing wrong with being a sodomite, nothing wrong with all these orgies going on, nothing wrong with everybody's doing bumps of coke and popping pills and you know, destroying themselves and baby oil all over the damn place, slipping and sliding all over. I mean, come on, man. This is what ends up happening. Galatians 5:16. He calls himself love. He claims he's a God-fearing man. I mean, hey, look, you got TD Fakes, man, as his spiritual advisor. You know, there was rumors about him being involved in going to these freak-offs. Now that he's arrested, now that he's been indicted, and now he's being held without bail and on suicide watch, will he start yapping? Yeah, you remember that, Ashar. Will he start yapping? Is TD Fakes in trouble? We're going to find out. Galatians 5:16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit. So there's a constant battle between the flesh and the spirit. We all go through it. We all go through it, man. Ain't nobody walking completely in the spirit 100% at all. As long as this flesh is attached to our bodies and part of our members, you're going to always be in a battle. That's the bottom line. This is why coming up soon, next month, Day of Atonement is coming, because the Lord said we're all going to have to need to repent annually and fast for it. You understand? The flesh has got to be weakened so that the spirit now can rise to the top and be the controlling factor of our motivations during that time. And that's supposed to be the catalyst to help you through another year. The flesh lusted against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary, the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. What law are we talking about? We're talking about the law of sacrifice for sin. Why will we not be subject to that? Because now the spirit is being led. We're being led in the spirit of righteousness. Moving on. Now the works of the flesh are manifest. Which are these? Adultery, fornication, uncleanness, and lasciviousness. These are all the things that we're hearing that he's been involved in. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, deletions or smitings, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. So let's look at this word right here, lasciviousness. Looseness. You can imagine where we can go with that one. Trying to keep it PG. Them cheeks is loose over there, man. They talking about, you know, him and his him and his freak offs. You said Jaguar Wright, alleged FBI agent, has much to say concerning Diddy. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. Jaguar Wright has been. She been going ham on him too. That's a fact. I remember seeing an interview from her a while back, but I'm sure she's out there going wild again. I haven't seen anything of recent, but I'm sure she's out there. I do remember her. She's been talking about a lot of people in the industry. But this is one word I want to look at: lasciviousness, looseness, lustfulness. Look, a tendency to excite lust and promote irregular indulgences. A tendency, freak offs, to excite lust and promote irregular indulgences. Okay, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Is that regular or is that irregular indulgences? What baby oil? I mean, good Lord, man. They're talking about GHB, which is a known drug for the sodomites that they use. Ecstasy. I mean, they busted one of his little drug mules, the Edomite, last year. Before he was hopping up, or earlier this year, he's finna hop on the plane, had dope on him. This is what he's involved in, man. And this is why it's important for our people who are utilizing him as an idol and somebody they looked up to and wanted to be a next mogul. And this is what comes along with it. He didn't get there from hard work, dedication, that solely, no. Compromises had to be made. Indulgences had to be fulfilled. And just as he got it, he's passing it along to anybody and everybody's underneath of him. Where's the cat out that used to hold his umbrella for him? They used to dance all the time. Where's he at? I know he's been involved in some stuff. He's laying low. Jay-Z laying low. All of his closest confidants, they laying low. Nobody wants to come out here and stand on business and say, I've been around, this guy's innocent, he's a good man. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Imagine what J-Lo was into. You dig what I'm saying? Like anybody you see attached to him, female, they could have just been beards. You dig what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm gonna say that. I'm sure he had relations with the women. But you know what happens? When you're involved in that lifestyle, man, they say that sometimes women ain't enough, man. Dudes start venturing off. You done did everything you can with a woman. You saying, well, what about a transformer? You know, it's still a woman, but it's a man. I mean, maybe I'll try that. And then next thing you know, it's like, well, forget it. If I'm already with a transformer, I might as well go full blown with a man. I mean, this is the type of stuff, man, that Satan constantly is tickling the fancies of temptation in the flesh. And if you're already open to it, you're going to go there. That's a fact. And that's what the scriptures say, man. In James, I think it's James 1. Yeah. Let's look at this real quick. James 1, 12 to 13. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. So temptation is going to come. It says it's about enduring. Scripture say, just man falleth 7 times. None of us is perfect. We're all trying to get through it. right? You stumble, you may fall, but you got to get up. You got to keep fighting. You got to endure, because they're going to keep coming. They're going to keep walloping you upside the head. They're going to keep trying to make war with your flesh and war with you and your mind and everything else. You got to keep enduring, right? Because a crown of life is waiting for us if we keep fighting. Verse 13, let no man say when he is tempted, I'm tempted of the Most High. For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. So if you over here, man, you're baby oiled up with two big sodomites in it, and you was already open to that. You was already down for it, man. You just needed a little something to push you over the edge. And maybe it was that GHB. Maybe it was that coke. Maybe it was that drug. Every man's tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed. So this dude, man, was already into all of that stuff, man. And I was going to go there. Y'all already know. 2 Timothy 3. Know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. I mean, that goes without saying. That's plain, man. I don't need to go no further. I don't want to waste no more time on him. Lesson learned, y'all. And again, should we be surprised? You know? So let's get him out the way. Everybody knows what's happening. Don't be surprised, man. Either he's going to whistle blow and just go crazy, hoping to get a deal, hoping to get up out of some things, or suicide might be a part of the situation. We don't know. One thing for sure, two things for certain. They ain't letting this black butt out of jail right now. He offered $50 million. The court sat back and said, "Oh, that's the type of money you're working with? $50 million. If you can spare that, shit, nigga, we probably can get some more money from you." Nope, no bail. You're a flight risk. Nope. 50 million couldn't get the Negro out of jail, man. And that lets you know, no matter how much money you got, you're still a nigga. How about that? Moving on. Oh, this should tell it all. This is the free cost, man. This is what. Look at the way this dude is looking at him. That's next to him. You trying to tell me that something else ain't going on? If you got a man with his arm around you, and he's looking at you like he's ready to eat you alive, something's wrong. Something's wrong, man. Let's move on. Look at this. After his arrest, look, Warner Music Group executive Kevin Liles, he steps down from the label and subsidiary 300 Electric Entertainment. Kevin Liles, this guy's been in the industry for a long time. You say, IQ, how you know all this stuff? Why are you involved? Yeah, IQ, as you know, and you hear the music, I was trying to be a rapper back in the day in the world. The Lord called me out before I even got close to even getting any further. As a young man trying to think I was going to do something else, I was like, you're out of here. And years later is when I decided to participate in doing music for the Most High. I didn't even want to do it then at first. I was like, man, I cut off music. I wasn't trying to rap no more, none of that stuff. In the world, I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna, like many young Jakes, thinking, that was our way out, and we wanted to be a part of that industry, and the girls and the money and everything else. And when I came into the truth, I was like, no, I'm cool on all of that stuff. And then Jake started making little beats here and flirting with the idea of doing a song here, and it was like, you want to try? You should do it. It wasn't until I was in the truth for at least 3 years before we decided to actually do some music. That was 98 when we did our first album. But it took me a little convincing, especially in the spirit. I didn't want no parts of it no more. So, but that's why I can recognize I know some of these names. But anyway, and not saying I was in deep all in the industry, but when you follow industry. You follow who's who. You're figuring out who I need to get to, that type of thing. But you're starting to see an exodus of these presidents and chairmen and executives. Where are they running to? What happened? Is it just financial? Is it, hey, let me get up out of here before some more stuff jump off? Or we don't know. But just ironically, a day after this cat gets indicted and arrested, oh, Kevin Liles, he's out of here. Sony Music Nashville chairman Randy Goodman, he's stepping down. Warner Music Japan president CEO Kaz Kobayashi, he steps down. And you can say, well, there's only one black guy. Man, Diddy was rubbing elbows with all kind of damn European designers and liquor companies and Japanese, everybody, international, man. Stop thinking he was just hanging out in the corners with niggas at the after parties. No. He's rubbing elbows with all of these type of individuals in cast, man. They all know him. He knew them. Randy Goodman, he's stepping down. Where's everybody running to? You notice after the old pandemic was over with, man, who started stepping down? Home chick that was the head of the WHO. No, she wasn't the head of it. She was the head of Fauci, he stepped down. Was she the head of WHO? I can't remember, but she was a GMO small hat too. She was out there. I can't remember if she was the WHO or was she with the CDC. No, she was with the CDC. She stepped down. They all start leaving once things go bad. Let's move on, man. So now I'm gonna pick up the pace, y'all. Cuba. The crisis going on over there is unreal, man. Our people, we don't even realize the sufferings that our people are going through. We're caught in our own bubble of suffering. We're caught in our own little bubbles of entertainment, this, that, and the third, man. But the curses and the afflictions are real, especially for our people over there in Cuba. Look, Cuba slashes the size of daily bread rations as ingredients run thin. They already got drought going on. There's already hunger going on. There's already, massive oppression going on over there, man. Famine jumping off. Now they get cutting down the bread rations, bread lines. And Revelation 6 talks about that a measure of wheat is going to be sold for a penny, which pretty much breaks down to a whole day's labor is going to be the cost of bread. Cuba's communist-run government on Monday slashed by a quarter the weight of subsidized ration of daily bread, the latest shortage to strain a decades-old subsidy scheme created by the late Fidel Castro. This is what happens when you got a communist government. You need everything. The government's got to give you everything. Now they're on bread lines. They're getting cut off, cutting the prices and the shortages on grain to try to feed everybody. And this is ain't but, a hop, skip, and a jump away from America. The bread, one of a handful of still subsidized basic food products in Cuba, will be reduced from 80 grams to 60 grams, or approximately the weight of an average cookie or a small bar of soap. Its price, too, was slightly reduced to just 1 peso or a third of a cent. Still, many Cubans who earn around 4,648 pesos a month, or around $15. Did you hear that? The monthly salary people that can earn in Cuba is $15. Month. Not an hour, not a day. And they got to budget that out and only get 60 grams of, wheat to make bread. It's the size of a small cookie, man. That's like, and people are surviving from that. Remember in the history and the stories with Elijah. And Elijah, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, Elijah ran into the sister and he asked her to make her some bread. And she was like, all I got is a little bit, just me and my son. And he was like, don't worry about it. The Lord's going to replenish that. Make me some bread. It's going to be enough for you, me, and your son. And she listened. She made the bread and said that the wheat never ran out. And that's when her son had died, and Elijah had to, resurrect her son, or healed her son, I believe. But if y'all remember that, I mean, she was operating with bare minimum. And the Most High still made sure Israel was able to survive. But this is wild. This is wild. That's what I'm saying. F Diddy. I mean, there's remember, Yahweh said famine was going to be part of the last days. That's just Cuba, man. A lot of third world countries are going through it like this. Haiti, man, they over there eating mud cookies. They talking about damn geese and ducks and cats and dogs. They eating mud cookies over there, man. Earthquakes in diverse places. Texas shaken by earthquake, among the biggest in the state's history. So Texas getting hit with biggest earthquakes they've ever had. California's had more 4.0 earthquakes than ever in this past year, and we're not even done yet. Still, what, 2.5 more months left in this so-called year. So the prophecies are still unfolding. Moving on. A once in a 1,000-year rainfall event from an unnamed storm floods homes and forces rescues in North Carolina. You got flooding going on over there. End of an economic era. At precisely 2 p.m. Wednesday, in a windowless ground floor room in Washington's Foggy Bottom neighborhood, dozens of packed-in economic journalists will hit send on reports that the Federal Reserve has decided to cut interest rates. With that, an economic era will end. What are we talking about here? You know, they just had the Fed rate cuts, and they cut the interest rates by 0.5%. Biggest interest rate cut they ever did. He's saying, well, what's that mean for us? Basically, they're cutting down the interest rates so that, let's say, for instance, the interest rates on the credit card might be it's going to be a little lower now, or a mortgage might be a little lower now. You know, it's supposed to, bring help, right? But what's so interesting about that is they haven't done this in 4 years. Oh, how many years is each election? 4 years? Oh, okay. So is this just a political move, man, just to try to appease some people? It still doesn't, it still hasn't and isn't going to have any direct effect on the food prices, gas prices, and everything else that everyday people like you and me are affected by. It ain't going to stop. I seen Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, talking about the economy strong and unemployment is strong right now. I mean, not strong. Employment is strong right now. After they just lied and said that there was 818,000 jobs that was never created. So what numbers is he looking at? What y'all see every week? I'm talking about layoffs and businesses closing and everything else. He says everything is great. If that's great, I hate to see what bad is when they really wind this whole thing up. So the fact that they cut the interest rates by 0.5% and it's supposed to be great for us, we ain't gonna see it. You ain't gonna see no changes, man. Really, when it's all said and done. But they're claiming they're trying to help the economy and all this. But ironically, they haven't done this big a rate cut or rate cut since 4 years ago, which was the exact same time that we had an election going on. So who are they trying to fool? You tell me. Let's move on. See, a recession could be this election's October surprise. October surprise is usually what they talk about, like a black swan event or something that goes on that affects governments or world outlooks or whatever the case may be. So the question of a recession with the you got stagflation, shrinkflation. We're in all the Asians right now. The economy is still shocked and rocking. The stocks when they talked about the interest rate cut and all that, stocks dropped. Crypto had a bump up. One thing that went up, man, is in precious metals. Silver, gold. I ain't gonna talk too much about money, finances on the Sabbath, but if you look at that, man, gold is constantly going to all-time highs. Why are they talking about hard assets that you can hold, keep? Those things are having more value than a computerized download blockchain thing that you can, lose at a press of a button or increase at a press of a button. Investments that's getting, pumped up by fake money and fake projections. Most High said, well, one thing we do know, we see silver and gold in the scriptures, and those things right now are holding firm while everything else, inflationary dollars, is not looking good right now. The one thing that is holding up is the things that was created by the Lord. Let's move on. On the question of free speech, there's still whether or not many people's favorite, social media outlet. That's still on the table. I remember talking about it last week. If the ban was still on, it's still still up. Possibly could be gone by January. That's going to be one avenue of our speech being cut off. A lot of information comes out on TikTok, and there's a lot of foolishness that goes on there. You got to take the good with the bad, chew the meat, spit out the bones, as they say. But that thing could be possibly gone within the next few months. Stay tuned. Omnipresent AI cameras will ensure good behavior, says Larry Ellison. We're going to have supervision, says billionaire Oracle co-founder Ellison. This is important. Why? Because Larry Ellison, he owns this company called Oracle. And it's like a software cloud system that everybody uses or people have been using. And let me see if I got him out here. Here we go. Let me let him say it.
And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications use AI. You can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video.
Look at these things, man. Look at all this. Look at his arms. What kind of sickness is going on with his arms, man? This guy's a billionaire, but he got some wild breakout going on his arms, man. Scaly, reptilian type skin, man. Red, blotchy skin going on. He got the hair dye jumping off, the whole nine. He older than he trying to look young. He jacking himself up, man. This is one of the cast, man, that's probably looking towards life extension technology, hoping that he can stay alive longer so he can utilize oppression. Why am I bringing this out? Because I remember bringing this out years ago about Oracle, and they ended up getting sued with a civil class action lawsuit because they had compromised or they were utilizing 5 billion people's personal information. They had surveillance on 5 billion people. There's only, 8 billion in the world? So they had access to damn near everybody in the world's personal information via apps and technology. Now he's saying he's open to being the head catalyst to using AI to monitor everybody in the world. And he said it's going to make everybody be on their good behavior. That's the B system. That's Big Brother on steroids. I'm going to let him talk.
Their best behavior, because the police will be on their best behavior because we record.
One more stop. I'm going to pause it right there. Why? Because he's trying to use this he's using the police as a excuse. Oh, if you allow this, we'll get the police on their best behavior because we're constantly going to be recording and watching everything they do. They're not going to be able to abuse you. They're not going to be able to harass you. So what's a Negro going to do? Yeah, I'm for that. Yeah, I'm sick of the police. We need them to be put. Well, who's policing the police? We need that. Meanwhile, they're going to be doing the same thing to you, Negro. You don't know that? But see, that's how they slick. They try to make it seem like, oh, I'm doing it for the good. I'm doing it for the people. We're going to get the police on their best behavior. So let us surveil and watch you because we're watching them.
We're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation that occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras. It's AI that's looking at the camera. No, no, no. You can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's going to be immediately, that's going to be an event that's immediately, an alarm is going to go off. It's going to be, and we're going to have supervision. In other words, every police officer is going to be supervised at all times.
See, supervision, what does that mean? Like, doesn't necessarily mean I'm watching over you and regulating everything that you're doing. When you're talking about supervision, you look at it in the realms of superhuman strength or supervision. Like, this is him having a God complex. He wants to be able to have supervision, not only to watch over, but he wants to be able to see everything. That's the job of the Lord. Sirach 23:19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun. He wants to say, no, AI, my technology, I'll be able to watch everything. No, man's not going to do it. AI is going to watch everything. And as soon as something goes off, alarm bells get to ringing, the chief of police is notified, we got it all recorded. And he tries to make it seem like it's all only for the police. No, you notice he said citizens are going to be on their best behavior as well. So it's to watch you and me too. Eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men. Even in this whole thing, man, they talking about that they want this whole thing running even while you're in the bathrooms. And they said, well, and the only time that they'll need to view that is if they get a subpoena from court. But even in the bathroom, they want to see. Beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. Let me let him finish, and I'm gonna continue on.
And the supervision will, and if there's a problem, AI will report the problem and report it to the appropriate person, whether it's the sheriff or the chief or whomever we need to take control of the situation. We have, same thing. We have drones. We just, if there's something going on in a shopping center, and I'll stop. A drone goes out there, get there way faster than a police car. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases. You shouldn't have high-speed chases between cars. You just have a drone follow the car. I mean, it's very, very simple. And the new generation of autonomous drones.
So just like Minority Report with the drones and the damn spiders that crawl around and read your eyes. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one too, Kohav. Eagle Eye. That's a very good movie, man. If y'all have not seen Eagle Eye, watch that movie. Eagle Eye. That's good. That's absolutely, that's better than the Minority Report reference that I just made. Eagle Eye. That's it right there. Facts. Y'all should check that out. Oh yeah, Khan, Naquab, I did see that. If y'all don't know what he's talking about, man, there's a video. And let me show the Eagle Eye. If anybody remembers and needs to see that, that's the reference right there, man. Eagle Eye. Check that out. And then also, yeah, there is a video. LAPD, they using the robots now to apprehend and go to homes to I guess they was trying to say that well, they didn't try. He did have a gun on him. The 10 Tribe Cat man had a gun on him, and he was in the house. They used the robot to breach the house, gas the house, and then the guy tried to open up the door and throw a sheet on the robot to try to stop it from seeing. That didn't work. It busted the windows out, smoked him out. He opened up the window, tried to shoot the damn robot. That didn't work. He falls out the window. The robot rolls on top of him, pins him down so the cops can come in. I mean, they're already starting to do the Skynet, Terminator type stuff on a low level. Lord knows when they really do. They got the robot dogs. I seen them use one of them robot dogs to breach a house as well. Con Elder 84, Big Brother, it's all here, and that's a good point too. They got body cams on, car cameras, the whole nine, man. They still out there killing us and putting us to death. This is just bigger fish for them to fry as far as wanting to get the okay for everybody to just say, Yes, that's a good idea. We need protections against the police and government. And who's paying for it? Who's going to fund these things? Who's allowing it to go down? They're not going to do this stuff unless they put themselves in a position to be at an advantage. So there you go. Okay. And they got this is it right here. Class action lawsuit accuses Oracle of tracking 5 billion people. They definitely got hit with that. And they agreed to pay out $115 million. That didn't stop them from doing business. This is from 2022. You see down here, August 23rd, 2022, the class action lawsuit. This is 2 years ago. They finally settled up. $115 million they're going to pay out, right? But they're not stopping the business. This is recent that he just popped out saying he wants to do AI surveillance on everybody. So his Esau don't give a damn. $115 million ain't jack squat. It said they were raking in $40 billion a year. What's $115 million to them? Nothing. And I didn't say, oh, you guys are abusing power. You guys are using technology wrong. Shut it down. We're taking your business license. That's it. No, it's pay to fine. And let's see if we can enhance. Let's see if we can enhance the evil. There's no judgment that goes on, man. They pay out a little bit of bread, man, and they get right back to it. And go even further. 5 billion people, man, under worldwide surveillance, and they abuse their power. Class action lawsuit pops up. They got to pay $115 million, man. They get right back to it. So there you go. More attacks on free speech. Gavin Newsom just signed a bill making it illegal to make a quote unquote deep fake parody or anything that they consider not funny. It's prosecutable now. But who's he listening to? Let's look at her. Hillary Clinton.
Mueller indicted a lot of Russians hold
on. Let's look at this first. Let me slow down. I am time pressed. I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next 15 minutes, Lord willing. Hillary Clinton calls for criminal charges and civil penalties against Americans, quote, engaged in spreading, quote, propaganda. Now, that's interesting because who will classify what is propaganda? They could say DSTM is propaganda. They could say anybody that's doing anything that's against their agendas is propaganda. They could shut down anybody speaking about things that they don't agree with as propaganda. To make an argument against free speech, she invokes the Russiagate scam that itself was the product of her campaign's own propaganda. Speaking of which, that the case that she invokes here, Mueller charging some Russians for social media activity, led to Mueller dropping the case after the Russian company showed up to fight the case in court. So this guy is saying that she's using the old Russiagate hype that was saying, oh, Russia's helping Trump win the election and all that. And then when they said, well, let's go to court and let's fight it and let's see, they dropped it. If you remember Mark Zuckerberg, when he said, oh, the FBI pressured us into the whole Russiagate thing. We was told to strike and ban anybody, and we ended up being wrong, and that wasn't right. So here she goes. She about to, and where they dig her up from, man? Why does she still even have a voice in politics? These are lifelong politicians, man. You can't get rid of these damn demons. But watch what she says.
Just as Mueller indicted a lot of Russians who were engaged in direct election interference and boosting Trump back in 2016.
That was already proven later on that was a lie. She's saying it currently as if that was real. They got indicted and people got punished. They popped on and said there was no Russia, there was no interference. They made that up. But she's still using it.
But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence. Because
so she's talking about criminally or civilly prosecuting people who promote quote unquote propaganda that doesn't go along with what they say. If you don't agree with the lie, then there's a problem.
Danger to our country and the world, and stick with it. They were merciless about what they saw as President Biden's, problems in the debate, and calling for him to.
So she's saying once you lay it down, you got to stick with it, go all the way, right? Now you got Governor Newsom here in California, just signed a new law regulation regarding exactly what she's talking about. Now look, it says Governor Gavin Newsom should have known this would happen after he signed 3 new laws regulating political ads and parodies. Parodies, these are jokes. Produced by artificial intelligence, the Babylon Bee parody site produced one flouting the law and mocking him. It uses what's called a, quote, deep fake of his voice praising such achievements as people leaving the state and the homeless crisis. Quote, on my watch, the cost of living and homelessness have skyrocketed. You can hear in Newsom's voice, schools are failing and so on. Game on. So the Babylon Bee, who makes parodies, made a parody using AI with his voice, and they was clowning around with him saying, under his watch, homelessness has skyrocketed and this, that, and the third. That's not really a joke. That's true. But he didn't say it. They use AI to make him say it. Now he's saying that's against the law now. You can't, even if you say this is a parody, this is a joke, you can't do it. Proponents of such laws believe voters aren't smart enough to engage with such content and must be protected from unfair speech by the government. So they're saying that people don't know if it's a joke or not. They can't tell if something is a joke or not. They can't tell what's real or fake anymore. The government is going to have to, they're going to have to make the choice for you. You don't have the wisdom and the discernment to figure out if is this real or not. And some people don't. But nonetheless, should they be the ones that help you decide? Should they be the ones that say, those Israelites out there that are telling you that you're the true Jews and the chosen people, and you're the hope, you have the chance to be the hopeful elect, and I'm the wicked and the devil and this, that, and the third, and the history that they're talking about in the dark ages, that's all propaganda to promote their religion. We're going to shield you from that. And we're going to shut those guys up. We're going to get rid of them for you. Wouldn't you like that? We can civilly or even criminally prosecute them as Hillary Clinton just said. Now he's signing it into law in California. Look, it says President John Adams and Challenger Thomas Jefferson threw mud at the opposition with abandon. Jefferson was attacked by the president of Yale, for example, on the grounds of if he won, we would see our wives and daughters the victims of legal prostitution. Unfair, sure. Misleading, sure. But this is America, where freedom of speech is constitutionally protected. In time, the best ideas eventually prevail. 2 of the bills signed by Newsom are clear attacks on freedom of speech and expression. So basically what he's saying is you can't do parodies. You can't use AI for anything political, this, that, and the third, even if it's clear it's a joke. Even if it's clear you're joking and this isn't real. Now he's prosecuting what should be free speech. So coming down the pipeline, we've been talking about it for a while. Matters of free speech, famine of the word, all of that is coming sooner and sooner. They're signing it into law. They're suggesting it on national TV, political and commentary platforms saying propaganda campaigns, propaganda should be criminalized. But who decides what's propaganda? They lie all the damn time. We tell the truth and get persecuted for it. That's how it goes. So that's something we got to watch. Be careful. Here's another thing. And this is why everybody got to watch. Remember, X got banned down there in Brazil. Guess what? Elon Musk, who's supposed to be a freedom fighter for patriotism and freedom of speech, and he's going to stand up to the big bullies and this, that, and the third. And Elon Musk backs down in Brazil. Elon Musk suddenly gave up. So when our people and everybody, you know, that utilizing these social media platforms and saying, well, free speech is over here, they can't shut us down. They're not going to stop us. If they lean hard enough, everybody's going to back down. Elon Musk is one of the richest men in the world. He could have easily said, man, F it. Look, Brazil is out my market. I ain't getting that money advertising, and social media won't be able to be spread and utilized in there. I got the rest of the world. I got Sky. What's the name of the Starlink? I got billions in the bank. Who gives a damn? I'm standing on my 10 toes. I'm standing firm for what I believe in. Did he do that? Hell no. Took him a couple of weeks, man, before he said, all right, fine. I'll do whatever you say. So the owners of these platforms, man, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and all the rest of them, TikTok, they're all going to be compromised and will be compromised. And anyone that tries to stand up and act as if you're going to be in defiance and fight back, you can see one of the most powerful men in the world that owns one of these platforms, he backed down. So what's that letting you know? Everything is up for grabs. When they push that button and say, shut it down, shut them up, that's exactly what's going to happen. Elon Musk suddenly gave up after defying court orders in Brazil for 3 weeks. Mr. Musk's social network X has capitulated. In a court filing on Friday night, the company's lawyer said that X had complied with orders from Brazil's Supreme Court in the hopes that the court would lift a block on its site. So are they going to stand for the people? Are they going to stand for free speech? Are they going to let you do what you? Not when it comes down to them losing money, losing revenue, losing ads, losing everything. They're going to choose that over you, me, all day long. The decision was a surprise move by Mr. Musk, and they said that the cat that did Telegram that got locked up, he's already complying and changing rules. The decision was a surprise move by Mr. Musk, who owns and controls X, after he said he had refused. Damn, this tripped again. Refused to obey what he called illegal orders to censor voices on his social network. Mr. Musk had dismissed local employees and refused to pay fines. The court responded by blocking X across Brazil last month. Is my stream still going? Okay, I'm still up. All I know is my YouTube just went out again on my phone. As soon as I get to talk about this free speech again. Nonetheless, let's move on. Let me wrap up soon. So Musk broke down. He compromised. That's that, right? Moving on. Scientists just figured out how many chemicals enter our bodies just through food packaging. I mean, this is why we need Yahweh Shai, man. This is why we need a savior. This is why we need divine intervention from the Most High Yahweh. When the scriptures say, man, that the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, man, I mean, this is what we're left with. We're worried about what's in the food. People want to have clean diets and everything else. The packaging is damn tampered with. Shrink wrap sealed around a piece of raw meat, takeout containers filled with restaurant leftovers, plastic bottles filled with soft drinks. These are a few types of food packaging that surround humans every day, and a new study released Monday shows the chemical toll of all that wrapping and how it might affect the human body. That's why Mark 16, Yahweh Shai even said, man, we're going to eat poison and live. I mean, good Lord. This is what we're dealing with, man. Researchers from Switzerland and other countries discovered that roughly 14,000 known chemicals in food packaging, 3,601, or about 25%, have been found in the human body, whether in samples of blood, hair, or breast milk. Those chemicals include metals, volatile organic compounds, per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS, phthalates, and others known to disrupt the endocrine system and cause cancer or other diseases. There are known hazardous chemicals that are known to be linked with adverse human health outcomes, said Jane whatever the hell her name is, the chief scientific officer of the Food Packaging Forum and one of the paper's authors. And these chemicals leak out of the packaging. Yeah, we talk about bisphenol A and in the plastics and in the canned goods. I mean, I've talked ad nauseum about the water being tampered with, man, beyond what we see in Flint, Michigan, and Mississippi and everywhere else. I mean, they're literally poisoning the hell out of people, man. And then you got to go back to what we talked about from the beginning, the Daigle report and population reduction. You hear the cancer rate skyrocketing, abortions up. I mean, you name it. There's a concentrated effort on reducing people's lifespans. That's a fact. We see it. Look, drug-resistant superbugs projected to get rid of 39 million people by 2050. The list goes on and on. Drug-resistant superbugs, which includes strains of bacteria or pathogens that have become resistant to antibiotics, making them much harder to treat, have been recognized as a rising threat to global health. So they're saying at least 39 million could be gone by 2050 in the next 25 years. Let's move on. But hey, there's no population agenda, depopulation agenda. Everything's fine. Brighton Church pastor arrested, fired after camera found in the bathroom. He's spying on people. He's up to his freak offs. Putting spy cameras in the bathrooms, man, looking at his damn parishioners and people following the damn doctrine of the damn church. He's freaking out watching them use the bathroom. And this is Edomite, mind you. But this is what goes on, man. Unbelievable. Moving on. Chilling footage shows young black man Javion McGee's final moments before he was found dead with rope around his neck. I mean, this is what I'm saying, man. F. Diddy, man. You got a brother that possibly got lynched in North Carolina. Of course, the police are saying, "Oh no, it wasn't a lynching. He wasn't found hanging." Meanwhile, he was with a neck around it, a rope around his neck that was attached to a tree. It wasn't a lynching though. Oh well, we've got surveillance footage that he bought the rope at Walmart. Yeah, and in the video, you see no distress on him. He's smiling, he tossing the rope up in the air as he leaves. Meanwhile, he's a trucker. His family and other truckers are saying that's common. We use rope all the time for our jobs. He was coming from, I think he was coming from, does it say there? I want to say Chicago. But he was coming from somewhere and he made a drop at Walmart in North Carolina. Let me see if I can see it real quick. I don't know if y'all heard about this story, but yeah, this was just recent. The family is making, TikTok videos pleading for help. The local media and the local police are not trying to do no real investigations on it. They're just calling it, he smote himself. Maybe no foul play. To this day, we're still seeing these type of things go on. But we're worried about 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Authorities released video that appears to show Javion McGee, a black man found dead last week in North Carolina, under a tree with a rope around his neck, buying rope from a Walmart a day before his body was discovered. I mean, he's 21 years old, man. The family had no reason to believe that he had any reason to be suicidal. Who knows who, what, when, where, why, how of the rope was around his neck. Look, it said the young man was not dangling from a tree. He was not swinging from a tree. The rope was wrapped around his neck. It was not a noose. So Esau tries to qualify a lynching. Oh, it wasn't a noose. He wasn't dangling. But he did have a rope around his neck next to a tree, and he was on the ground. But there was no lynching here. Nothing to see here. Move on. Hey, look, man. We're always guilty until proven innocent in cases of law, in our own civil matters in the streets or whatnot, man. The police roll around here. You see the term what they put on the cars here to protect and serve. They're not protecting us, but they are serving us all the day long, right? They're protecting the property and the ownerships of all these heathens that own the apartment buildings and the businesses and whatnot, and they serve us. And we're always considered guilty until proven innocent, not the other way around. Innocent until proven guilty. So the same standard is going to apply for them, man. F that. You guilty until proven innocent, man. Some foul play went on until you prove otherwise. And that's the problem. They don't want to deal with no investigation to find out what really went down, man. So I'm going to be tracking Javion McGee's situation because clearly something went afoul there. Okay, Kohath, I thought he was, I knew he was from Chicago. I knew that there was some connection with Chicago. He's from Chicago. He went and did a drop down in North Carolina at the Walmart. He went and bought some more rope. And before you know it, there he goes. Right? And that's something else too. And I'm probably gonna do a little something on it, but if you don't know the case about George Steiny Jr., the youngest person ever to be executed, and he was out of North Carolina as well. 14 years old, got accused of killing 2 little white girls and raping them. 14. Unfair trial. They said that his guilty thing was saying that the 2 white girls went missing and he saw them. He offered information, said, yeah, we ran into them. They were looking for flowers. It was him and his sister. Him and his sister ran into the 2 white girls. They had a quick little conversation. They was asking the brother and the sister, they seen some flowers or something. They said no, but they usually got something down by the train tracks or something. The white girls went down there. White girls end up dying or getting put to death and raped. The police moving around trying to find out what happened. The kid told his dad, yeah, we ran into some 2 white girls and we told them where some flowers were. That means he was guilty. Long story short, man, if y'all ain't seen it, a shout out to my brother Barack, man, who sent me the video because I didn't even know about it. George Steiny Jr. Look him up. There's a video that actually they made like a little mini movie. The execution of George Steiny Jr. Check that out, North Carolina, man. 14 years old, man. They put him in an electric chair, man. Put him to death. He's the youngest ever executed individual in the United States, man, out of North Carolina. So again, F that, man. They're guilty until proven innocent. Some got to come up out of this. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna say, oh, he wasn't dangling from the tree. Yeah, maybe he already fell down. Maybe so whoever lynched him let him down. And then they left. He's not swinging from a tree. You don't have to be swinging from a tree to freaking be hung, man. He could have been hung swinging from the tree while they was holding him up and then let his ass down. I mean, come on, man. Unbelievable. Let's move on real quick. American at the breaking point, 41% say they're at peak stress right now. Pressure bust pipes, man. This is why you see people out here, man, drugged up, doing Lord knows what, compromising themselves to survive, man, killing themselves just to live, trying to, working themselves to death. People are stressed in this country, man. And you know what happens, man. We're in what they call the great melting pot. Well, the heat is turning up. And this pot is bubbling. And it's only a matter of time before it bubbles over, man. So we're talking civil war, race war. We're talking war in the streets. Who knows what? But we know economically, food security, everything else, everybody's up right now. So this is why, again, getting back to that first Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant. Israel, man, I love y'all, family. Y'all got to be aware. Stay out there, man. Don't be out there lollygagging, walking around and driving with your phone on, everything else. You got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to see what's going on at all times, man. Especially you sisters out there. If you're unmarried, you make sure that you're taking proper precautions, man. Invest in some mace. Invest in, mace is a good thing for you. Now you can get those extendable cords if you need to go out there and get yourself a firearm. If you already don't have one, your security, your children's security has got to be of utmost importance because people is losing it right now. 41% of people is out at peak stress right now. So again, pressure bust pipes, man. People's gonna be taking chances just to live. You see all the people, man, running around trying to do them chase bank schemes. Everybody trying to get some money somehow, some way, man. I seen a video of this. She was a damn Asian woman. She went to the house of this dude that was selling a Porsche. And she come up, she got glasses on, modestly dressed the whole nine. She goes, "See, I'm here about the Porsche." The guy's like, "Okay, yeah, let me get the keys." He's selling the Porsche. She gets in the car, he's showing it around, and you know, she gets in. The guy's stupid, you know, he leaves the keys in the car. She gets in, she locks the doors. The dude's like, "Damn, hold on, what you doing?" She starts up the car. She's trying to back out his driveway. So he goes behind the car, like, "Hey, stop." The broad runs him over and was getting ready to get up out and got up out of there. This is how desperate people are getting to, man. So, you know, we gotta be vigilant, man. Be aware of what's happening out there. Worst drought on record lowers the Amazon rivers to all-time lows. So we're seeing even low Amazon River drying up. There was a story last year where they were talking about the Panama Canal was drying up, and that was impacting the imports and the exports that was coming through the canal there. We know about the prophecy about the Euphrates drying up. I mean, all hell is breaking loose throughout the earth, man. Naturally, we see it. Prophetically, we see things going on, man. It's going down, y'all. It is going down. So with that being said, we got a lot to think about. We got a lot we covered today. Like I said, I know it was lengthy, covered a lot. Prayerfully, man, y'all, you know, if you miss anything, something of interest, make sure you go back, grab it, you know, add it to your repertoire of understanding, and, you know, utilize these things, man, to stay motivated in this truth, to keep our repentance at an all-time high. And, you know, get prepared for what's coming down the pipeline, man, because it's definitely in there. It ain't stuck. It's moving down. It's moving in there. But it's a matter of time, maybe, before everything just goes. And we getting hit by everything that's going down, man. Economics, food, you know, warfare, disease, pestilence, you know, Jacob's trouble. You dig what I'm saying? So that's what it is, y'all. So I'm going to close out there, man. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, while y'all beside, man. Thank y'all for joining me on another episode of DSTN, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot your messenger.